This week on the WIU Football Coaches Show, a 99-minute severe weather delay did not keep the Leathernecks from pulling away from Missouri State on Saturday. Highlights, analysis, and interviews coming up next, along with a preview of the heavyweight showdown at North Dakota State this weekend. And welcome to another episode of the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm Danny Fry alongside Leatherneck head football coach Charlie Fisher. Western Illinois earned its first win at Hanson Field this season, surging past the Missouri State Bears late, 49-30. Coach, how'd your team stay focused, even though there were some distractions in this one?
Well, obviously we played a talented team that came in very much ready to play off the bye week. We had the weather delay, which probably worked to our advantage. The way we handled it, we did a really good job in that hour and a half to get ready for the last 5 minutes and 55 seconds of the game. So overall, we handled it very well. Started a little bit slower than what I like, but we finished strong.
We'll touch on that weather delay later on when we get to the second half highlights, but now the first half highlights. It was a 3 o'clock kickoff at Hanson Field. Players getting loose before the game and not playing in a dome this week, out in the elements.
That's right. Yes, it was. It was a warm day for October, and it was very humid. Of course, thunderstorms were in the area, so we knew weather was going to move in at some point.
Yeah, very hot and humid. Steve McShane, though, was feeling better, and Western Illinois just trying to play like a Leatherneck. Quick opening drive of 93 yards for Missouri State, capped off by a 38-yard touchdown run by Kalen Crowder. That's 3 minutes into the ballgame.
Yeah, that was a quick drive and a quick answer by Missouri State out the gate.
They were ready, but so was Western Illinois. Adam Conradi, who'll be on later in the show, in the 2-minute drill, catches a 21-yard touchdown pass from Sean McGuire, tying the game up 7-7 on Western's first drive. Got the tight ends involved again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Adam's had a really nice year. He goes over there and gets a little love from the ROTC guys. That's kind of like our version of the Packers jump.
Yeah, the Lambeau leap there for Western Illinois. 3:54 remaining in the first quarter. 4th down and 1 for the Bears. They go for it on a run to Crowder, but Justin Fitzpatrick makes sure nothing is there. He has really been playing exceptional lately.
Fitz has really played well. He's had a nice year and has really continued to improve.
And the Missouri State defense, so they brought it early on Saturday as well. Colby Isbell slams down McGuire for the sack. That will bring out the punt team for Western Illinois. Adam Fellner's punt at the end of the first quarter, blocked by Ricky Nichols. He scoops it up, walks right in. 14-7 Missouri State after one quarter.
Yeah, just Isbell, maybe the best pass rusher in the league, with a big sack, and then we just had miscommunication on the punt block. Let a guy come scot-free.
To the second quarter early on, here's a pass of over 30 yards down the sideline from Peyton Huselig to Malik Earl, and that play worked for some of the game for Missouri State.
Yeah, Malik Earl is a dynamic receiver in this league, and Zay came back and really played well.
And Malik Earl can run with the two dives for the pylon for the touchdown run from 30 yards out. The Bear lead grew to 21-7 with 9:54 left in the second quarter. Malik Earl, 14 receptions in this one, would set a Missouri State program record. But the Leathernecks quick to answer again. Max Norris breaks free for a 29-yard touchdown run. Flag on the play. It was offsides on MSU. Play stands under 5 minutes to go in the first half. 21-13 Bears after a missed Western extra point.
Yeah, Max really had a really nice game for us. Ran the ball hard as he has all year, and he broke a couple tackles there. And Max has got finished speed now. He can really go.
And the sideline was feeling it, and Peyton Huselig trying to feel it, but really one of his only mistakes here on a deflected ball that winds up in the arms of Xavier Rowe, who really showed his fight here at the end of the play.
Yeah, Zay was bouncing around there. He tried to make a play and did a really nice job. He's had a nice year for us and a big turnover right there.
Yeah, Xavier Rowe excited there. It stopped a possible scoring drive there for Missouri State. However, Western would have to punt it away. And again, special teams early on, the advantage was with Missouri State. Not a whole lot of time on the clock, a little bit time though for Matt Rush to really help out the Bears with a great return of 30 yards.
It did. We were right there and went in that 2-minute drill that we're so good at. And we had a sack and we just couldn't kind of get started, and they had a little bit of time left. And thankfully he missed his field goal. But you got to play to win, Danny. And we had the ball there late, and we certainly are going to try and go down and score.
And we'll bring it back right here as, again, that 42-yard field goal attempt by Zach Drake missed wide right of only a few ticks left. And you said your team at halftime wasn't playing well, but was there anything more into that on why the team wasn't up to standard?
You have to give Missouri State a lot of credit. They came in here ready. Again, they'd had a bye week. They were well prepared, well rested. They played well to start, and they got a tough offensive scheme. It's a lot of eye candy. And it wasn't that, the block punt was certainly a big turning point in the first half. That put us behind the 8 ball, so to speak. We just had to go in at halftime, no panic. And as I told the players, we're not going to panic. It's a 1-score game. Let's go out and get a score. We'll go for 2. And we make that, we'll just flip the script on this game.
And Coach, you mentioned the block punt, and special teams normally has really been a strong suit this season for Western Illinois. It's one thing you really went and made sure got shored up when you took over as head coach.
And we've been a good special teams unit across the board. For the most part, we covered kicks well. Our effort was good. The block kick is obviously a glaring mistake. And then in the second half, when Darren just lost his awareness on where he was on the field and fielded the ball before it went out of bounds, that was a critical error, and we had to miss PAT.
And you talked about just needing to get a score, but was there kind of a void that needed to be filled at halftime with energy? But did you feel the effort was there?
Oh,
just
yeah.
a really good Missouri State team?
Yeah, our guys were playing hard. I think Missouri State had a little bit to do with it. We need to get out of our way a little bit, a few too many penalties and mistakes. But more than anything, we just need to kind of crank it up and start playing our style of ball. And we did. On offense, we've been a tremendous third-quarter team all season long. And we've scored a lot of points in the third quarter. And our guys went out and answered the bell.
And now it's time to go underneath the helmet once again for a closer look at your Leathernecks in the 2-minute drill. Your 2-minute drill guest this week is Adam Conradi. Adam, thanks for coming on. First question, how do you think the season's going so far? Where are you guys at 5-1?
It's going great. Being 5-1 at this point, I mean, we'd like to be undefeated, but 5-1 is still great.
And let's go back a little bit. Favorite football memory that you have so far?
Probably destroying Coastal Carolina this year. I mean, that was just a big game. It was just a lot of fun.
Did you like running as much as you did that game?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in that situation with that much open field, but yeah, it was awesome.
You were a dual sport athlete in high school. What is your favorite sport, basketball or football?
Definitely football.
Is there a reason behind that?
I played more basketball in my lifetime, but football is so much better.
How much of an inspiration has Derek Leonard been to you?
Oh, he's been everything. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am now without him, and he got me a scholarship. So, yeah, he's just a great person.
Of course, Coach Leonard being your high school coach at Rochester. But let's go. One thing that you can't live without.
I can't live without. That's tough. Probably my car.
That would make sense. You got to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
All right. And what's your favorite movie?
The Dark Knight.
Okay. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie?
That's a little tougher.
Yeah, probably Remember the Titans.
Okay. Favorite color? Let's go. A basic question.
Blue.
All right. See, we're going here rapid fire here. Do you have a favorite TV show?
I mean, it changes, but right now, I'm watching Westworld on HBO.
There you go. Player that makes you laugh the most on the team?
Probably Sean McGuire.
Anything that he says that kind of gets you, or just his demeanor?
Nah, he's just goofy, and he knows what will make me laugh.
Awesome, Adam. That's time's up. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you.
When we come back, Coach Fisher and I will break down another action-packed second half. Stick around. Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. I'm Danny Fry alongside Leatherneck head coach Charlie Fisher. Western Illinois football trailed for the third consecutive game at halftime. This time, the score was 21-13 in favor of Missouri State. Just some inspiration need, or just go back to work?
Just need to play a little bit better. We were playing quite well enough, and no panic. Veteran team and good teams don't panic. You just go back to work knowing that there's 60 minutes of football, not 30, to determine who wins the game.
And that's what the Leathernecks went out and did in the second half. We go to Hanson Field for the second half highlights, and the second half really would be a doozy in more ways than one, an unusual second half. But first, WIU came out of the second half fired up and ready to go, just like you were talking about, Coach. McGuire over the top to Zeke Bouchard from 43 yards away. And there's 6 points. The team woke up at that point.
Yeah, we've been a big play team all year. We've had a lot of explosives and long plays, and Sean has just thrown the deep ball so well. And we're going to take shots all the time.
Coach, you wanted to tie it up right away with 13 minutes left in the third quarter. Leathernecks go for 2. They get it to the back of the end zone of Zeke LaShore. 21-21. Wasn't all perfect, though, in the second half for the Leathernecks. Isbell knocks the ball free for the Bears. Darius Joseph recovers the Max Norris fumble. Now, all of a sudden, momentum back to Missouri State's side.
Yeah, our defense went out and answered the bell, and we really got our hands on this, and it barely got through. But, it was a big stop holding them to 3 right there.
A 44-yard field goal barely squeaked in by Zach Drake, but then Western will hand it off to Jalen Acklin using his wheels, turns on the burners, scores from 61 yards away, his 3rd touchdown run of the season. Just like that, Western Illinois ahead 28-24 after 3 quarters. Jalen Acklin alert again. Now in the 4th quarter, Acklin and his outstretched arms reels it in for a 26-yard touchdown. The advantage widens to 35-24, an amazing catch.
Yeah, what a year he's had. I mean, he is really playing at the highest of high levels, All-American type season, and just staying focused, doing his job, really playing well. It's been exciting to see how well Jalen has played.
Myron Mason was one of the many options out of the loaded backfield for Coach Steckel and the Bears. He has a shifty run here for 40 yards.
Yeah, they did a good job. Again, they cut the zone back and found the backside of it, and then they caught us on a tempo play right there to the big running back.
First down and goal from the 9. Nick Masoner walks right in. 8:25 left in the 4th quarter. The Bears go for 2, don't get it, but at this point with 5:53 remaining in the game, went into a severe weather delay that took 99 minutes with Western ahead 35-30. What's on your mind as a coach when this happens?
Well, we had to get in there and figure out what was the best. So we did a really good job as a staff just figuring out what we need to do. We had some walkthrough plays. We went through, when we came out, we did a good job of warming up, and our preparation was spot on. And we ran some of Missouri State's plays and went out and stuffed them.
Out of the delay, Western defense forced a 4th down where Missouri State draws up a fake punt on a direct snap, but it goes nowhere. Missouri State turns it over on downs. Steve McShane makes Missouri State play. Only a play later, 39-yard touchdown run right up the gut.
Yes, we ran a jet sweep motion, have the option to give it or hand it off, and Stevie just creased him.
It's exactly what Steve McShane did, putting Western ahead by a couple of scores. Next MSU drive, they have to line it up, this time to go for it on 4th down. Eric Carrera there to break up the pass. Then Western on offense, time to go back to the run. Max Norris finds the edge in the final 2 minutes. 29-yard touchdown run, why not? 49-30 Leathernecks.
Yeah, great job there by Max. And again, him and Steve are both fast guys, and they can finish. And it was good to see Max back on track, and Stevie had an outstanding game.
Missouri State was driving at the very end of the game, pretty much just to pad some stats, make the score look better, but it's Carrera again shutting the door. Gritty effort in pretty much almost 3 different halves from your team.
Yeah, it was kind of a lot of different different segments to that game right there. Eric Carrera had an outstanding finish to the game and played well for us all day long. So, exciting win.
The Leathernecks pull away from the Bears 49-30. Sean McGuire efficient, 18 of 25, 249 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. Steve McShane a breakout game, 23 carries, 143 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. And Brett Taylor again being recognized as one of the top defensive players in the Missouri Valley with 16 tackles. He also added a sack. Coach, had to be a pretty good feeling after the game as we sent in some exclusive post-game locker room footage after the game. And Coach, is the Gatorade being thrown around? Is that going to be a thing now after Leatherneck wins?
We're having a lot of fun. We're going to definitely celebrate wins. I'm a big believer in that. We work so hard, and you got to enjoy. We had a little jump around going on there. I got every toe stomped on in the celebration, but man, it was a lot of fun.
For sure, and we talked about it before with players dancing. Josh Smith and Zeke LaShore seem to always team up, and then coming out of nowhere is Clint Rakovich.
Yeah. Clint, I think, pulled out the worm. I asked him where that one came from, but a lot of fun. You got to enjoy the wins. This is a tough game, and then we got Coach Grantham's son in there getting after it a little bit. So it was a lot of fun.
No, he really did. Western eventually goes and picks him up there.
Yep.
And it was really, really a fun scene after the win, especially after playing for 5 hours. As we go back to the set, what ignited the offense in the second half?
You know, we got good players on offense, and we've been so good on offense all year long. It was just a matter of just kind of finding our rhythm a little bit. I say that every week. It just started a little bit slower than we would like, though. You know, when you look at it in the big scheme of things, outside of the special teams gap for the block punt, we're even with them. We missed a PAT. You know, we can't do those kind of things and win against the highest level teams in this league. But again, I'll give a lot of credit to Missouri State. They were ready to play. They did a nice job. We rebounded in the second half and played just a little bit better than they did at some key times.
What were the positives for your team in the 99-minute weather delay?
Well, the way we handled, obviously, the delay, we showed a lot of poise. We came out, played very well after the break. I think when you look at our run game, 286 yards, we had a lot of explosives. We didn't score one of the 7 touchdowns, not one of them came inside the red zone. A lot of big plays. We've been a big play unit all year long. We've got to continue that now with the stretch of teams we got coming.
Describe how your defense played. You talk about how the offense came out and got the job done out of the weather delay. How about the defense in the final 5 minutes?
Again, overall, second half much better, kind of settled down, didn't get as confused with their eye candy, much more disciplined against the option. Certainly after the break, they came out, set the tone. We needed to stop. They got it. Big fourth down play by our special teams. Can't overlook that on the fake punt, and then we closed the deal.
Special teams ultimately did seal this one out for the Leathernecks. Back with much more on the WIU Football Coaches Show after this quick timeout.
She wins the game! She wins the game! The Leathernecks win!
We're back on the WIU Football Coaches Show. Being a student athlete is hard enough, but try doing that in 2 different sports. That's exactly what Justin Fitzpatrick and Steve McShane do, juggling both football and baseball at WIU.
Football, baseball. These 2 sports are very hard to play at the Division I level. However, student athletes Justin Fitzpatrick and Steve McShane were ready to take on the challenge of playing both sports.
It's a hassle. I don't even know if you would say off season because there's really no off season. Even when we're playing baseball in the spring, we still have football and everything. So, I mean, I think mainly it helps having coaches who care for you and understand what you're going through.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what off season is. Like Justin said, I don't know anything about an off season. But I mean, you know, right now, you know, we really not planning on working on any baseball right now during football season. So, I mean, that's a good thing, positive for us.
Justin and Steve are not alone and know they can always count on their coaches to help them out.
I mean, they just talk to us sometimes. Sometimes that's really all you need is someone to let you know that they care about you, or let you know that, you know, that you're on their mind and everything. And I know Coach Brownlee, sometimes there'd be times where Steve and I would.
Now, some coaches wouldn't quite, you know, go ahead and encourage this, but why are you supporting, you know, really a lot of support in these multi-sport athletes?
Well, I think if you're good enough to help another sport, then do it. If you're not in a position where you can really help that team, you know, you would retard your growth in obviously the sport you're in. Now, I played both sports. I was a football, baseball guy at Springfield College. I'm a big believer. That was part of the reason why I went there. Both Fitz and Stevie Mack are really good athletes. They're good baseball players. I got great respect for Coach Brownlee. He's done a great job of working with me the way we need this thing to look and feel for them to do both sports. So it's been a win-win for all of us, and I'm always excited to see if we got a player that can help our other sports here at WIU. I'm all for it.
So the communication there is on both sides, and you just mentioned it. We've talked about before on the show that you're a big baseball guy, but what do you enjoy the most? Because I'll see you out at Alfred D. Boyer Stadium, you know, following. What do you enjoy the most watching Justin and Steve play baseball?
Well, I like seeing our athletes succeed on and off the field, and I like seeing them succeed, obviously, at the sport that they're in with me, but I want to see them help our athletic department if they're in position to do that. And both these young men can. They've done a great job. The thing you can't understate here, Danny, is how good a job both these young men have done in the classroom, handling both these things. I think that's the other key piece here is can they do it academically? Certainly if they couldn't do it, we couldn't take that next step also. So I give a big tip of the hat to both Fitz and Stevie Mack. They do a nice job. They're outstanding young men, and they certainly help WIU athletics in both sports.
On the gridiron specifically, though, Fitz has really improved this year. Well, why do you think that is?
Well, I think just, it's maturity. Players get better as they get older, and he's settled in now at safety. Coach Grantham, Coach Brodigham have done an outstanding job with our secondary, and you just see his confidence level. I think when I look back to the beginning of the year, the plays that he made at Northern Arizona really upped the ante on his confidence. And when you're confident, you really believe you can do anything, and he's really playing that way.
He had a good game at Missouri State. As we go over to the other dual sport athletes, Steve McShane, what are the expectations for him now that he's getting healthier?
Well, he's healthy. Certainly,
Yeah.
Hurt that ankle in the first game. But at the end of the day, Stevie Mack can do whatever he wants to do. He's a very gifted player. He can run it. He can catch it. He can be a decoy. He can run a fly sweep. Whatever you want him to do, he has the capability to do it. So he's really a triple threat guy in many, many ways.
A preview of this weekend's trip to Fargo, to the Fargo Dome to take on North Dakota State after this final timeout.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western. Build your own expectations and fill your own shoes.
Explore an academic culture that adapts to you.
Create yourself and inspire originality in an open and safe environment.
Western Illinois University lets you make your own success story.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
Welcome back to the WIU Football Coaches Show. It's time to check in on how the Missouri Valley Football Conference teams performed this past week. And maybe not, I guess, surprising, but some scores that were probably a little wider than you expected. Southern Illinois all over Illinois State, 42-7. South Dakota, the Coyotes proving that they're a top 5 team in the FCS, 56-6 over a winless Indiana State program. Northern Iowa, the Panthers, after losing to Western Illinois, UNI and Coach Farlow, they wake up and not only beat South Dakota State, but they beat the Jackrabbits by 20 points, 38-18. And now the game's on tap for Week 8 in the MVFC. And Youngstown State will visit the Unidome in Cedar Falls against Northern Iowa. A pretty intriguing matchup. South Dakota on the road to Hancock Stadium to take on Illinois State. Southern Illinois, the Salukis try to keep rolling on the road in Terre Haute against Indiana State. And South Dakota State visits Springfield at Plaster Stadium against Missouri State. So the Leathernecks go back on the road where WIU is 4-0 this season, but Coach, work definitely cut out for your guys this week against undefeated and second-ranked team in the nation, North Dakota State. The Bison survived 27-24 in overtime against Youngstown State this past Saturday, and that was really a great game.
Yeah, two heavyweights in our league, Youngstown and North Dakota State, and North Dakota State found a way. They found a way to win this game. Really, I think the last 3 meetings, and they're good, and they're a handful at their place. We know that. We've got everything to gain. And, that's the way I look at it. We've got a good football team that deserves this opportunity, and now we need to go take advantage of it and go play well. And that's what, when you get to October, late October, Danny, this is what it's all about. In any great league like ours, you're going to have a handful of teams that are, it's survive and advance.
Right in the middle of the season, right in the middle of the conference season, and defensively, the Bison, they've been stingy with linebacker Jabril Cox leading the charge lately.
Yeah, Jabril Cox is a true freshman. It's kind of, I don't want to say come out of nowhere, but he's really been lighting it up here and really played well. So, it's a great challenge, a great opportunity, but I use the old saying, why not us? Let's go get it.
Offensively, it's Easton Stick, again a mainstay for this North Dakota State offense, and they have a really multifaceted attack.
Easton Stick, maybe the most underrated quarterback in many ways across the nation. Sometimes when you think about how good they are, you lose sight of how good he has played. And then, obviously coming in for Wentz when he did. So he's done an outstanding job. He manages their offense. He makes a lot of plays. I think he had 180 yards rushing against Youngstown. He can hurt you a lot of different ways in the game.
And Chris Kleiman, the head coach of North Dakota State, bring this up. He has a Western Illinois background, a UNI background, and has really taken over the reins and made that program his own, and still obviously one of the top 5 programs, very successful still with him at the helm.
No doubt, outstanding coach, outstanding person, good friend of mine. In this league, I got great respect for Chris and what he's done. Never easy. He took over a program that was already successful, and it's not always that easy to keep them at the level they're at. He's done a great job of that, and they play my kind of football. They're a hard hat team, They play rugged, physical, downhill football. And it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a physical game. Our guys are more than ready and excited for the opportunity.
And your team will have to go on the road playing another Loud Dome. Already did that in the Sky Dome and the Unidome, though. So they'll have to do that this time in the Fargo Dome. And you've been there before as a coach. What do you think? What do you remember from coaching in the Fargo Dome, and how will that experience help this week?
Well, I remember getting beat twice. I've been there when I was the head coach at West Georgia. I was there as the OC at Richmond in the semifinals a couple years ago, the national playoffs. Tough place to play, tough environment, great fans, classy fans, but tough fans to play in front of. They're loud. We'll have to keep our poise. We're going to have to get off to a good start. But again, I always go back to it's a great challenge, it's a greater opportunity. And this game only gives you so many opportunities to get where you want to go. This is round 7, as we like to say, and another great opportunity to do what we want to do this season.
Round 7 coming up for the Leathernecks. Round 6 went to Western, but now it is round 7 as Western Illinois travels north to Fargo, North Dakota to face the Bison in a top 10 stats media poll matchup. Kickoff from inside the Fargo Dome is at 2:30. For Western Illinois head football coach Charlie Fisher, I'm Danny Fry. Thanks again for watching.